Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Ahead on GMSA, one person is dead and a child is in the hospital after a car crash, while police say that alcohol may have been a factor.
And this morning, Governor Greg Abbott ramps up border security, deploying Texas DPS troopers and special agents to the border. His response on social media and what it means for the state in the coming days.
Fly, Eagles, fly to Super Bowl 59.
Came Mahomes to it. Got the B-line. B-line makes the move around Bernard, and that will clinch it.
And with that right there, Super Bowl 59 is set, y'all. Just ahead, we have more reaction from Patrick Mahomes. Sad-looking Josh Allen right there. And the Chiefs, looking for 3 consecutive Super Bowl titles. They will now take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, January 27th.
Okay, I'm going to do
Is
something.
that why you're wearing green?
I'm going to do something that's probably going to tick off a lot of Cowboys fans. Like, fly, Eagle, fly. Okay, so yeah, I'm all about the Eagles winning. Okay, that's just me and my pick, but I get it. That was a great games yesterday. If you guys watched those, got really intense, but hey, I mean, it's a good time. Good time, and more than anything, it's 49 degrees. We're not saying that it's 30-something degrees anymore.
I even checked it. Yeah, I checked the KSAT Weather Authority app, and I was like, what is going on here? I don't even need a jacket, maybe.
And guess what? We got the one and only Mia Montgomery in the building. What's up, Mia?
Good morning. Happy Monday to you all. Yes, a big difference than what we were seeing last week, where we had 20s for our morning low temperatures. It is chilly, yes, but we are noticeably warmer than that. Still a little bit cooler, though, than what we saw yesterday. We had a weak cool front pass through south central Texas. That allowed for slightly cooler and drier air to move in. Still, though, we do have a few sprinkles popping up on authority radar. Some of this is actually making it down to the surface. Not widespread and very hit or miss in nature, especially across the coastal plains near Gonzales, Cuero, Hallettsville, Floresville, Stockdale, even Kennedy and Karnes City. Just know that you may run into a brief pocket of some light rain at times stepping out for the morning commute this morning. Other than that, at least we're not really having to deal with the fog that we saw over the past weekend. Again, it is still chilly, though. We are in the upper 40s right now here in San Antonio, stretching over to New Braunfels, even Seguin, 45 in Bernie. Good morning to you. 46 the current temperature in Kerrville. We will still keep the cloud cover in place today. Isolated chance for a shower or two into the afternoon. Slightly higher potential as we head into the evening. It will be cooler than average. You've got a high temperature in the low to mid 50s here in San Antonio as well, and also a little breezy at times. Winds out of the north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour sustained. A few gusts upwards of 20 not ruled out by the time all is said and done. So high temperatures will be cool for now and even into tomorrow, but then we quickly see spring-like 70s return by the middle of the week. Also more humidity quickly surging back in tomorrow, which means damp mornings are back in the forecast starting Tuesday. Patchy morning fog and drizzle is expected. That leads in, though, better rain chances, potentially some beneficial rain heading to parts of south central Texas by Wednesday night and Thursday. We'll get you a full look at that futurecast and talk about those details coming up a little bit later on.
All right, thank you so much, Mia. Of course, let's go out to the roadways to see how we're looking. And at this time, we got some construction zones popped up, I-10 and the Y. Things are looking pretty decent out there. Got traffic moving along that curve that you see up there. And of course, again, we, from what I saw on TxDOT, we seem to be crash-free from the big camera's perspective.
Yeah, definitely. Just some construction overnight, but hopefully we get that cleared out here pretty soon. Of course, this being a spot that we've seen over the past couple of weeks or so that we've had some construction out there. Let's go to Alex Gomez on the roads for us in Drive Cam on this Monday morning. Hopefully you had a great weekend, Alex. How are things looking out there?
RJ, good morning and happy Monday. Things have been great so far. I just made it into Drive Cam. I'm over here driving on the north side. This is 21 northbound. This is not too far from Thousand Oaks. It seems like the roadways are barely waking up. Not too many cars out here, so I'll let you know how things are going. But I did see some of those sprinkles come down near the downtown area, so just keep that in mind. If it gets any heavier, I'll let you know where it's at. But right now we should be pretty good driving.
All right.
Monday, RJ.
Thank you very much. Yes, and happy Monday to you, Alex. We will check back in with Alex Gomez out there in Drive Cam.
Well, this morning, Bexar County deputies say that this woman abandoned her children to go drinking. Now she's facing a slew of some charges. Deputies say that her children called 911 and reported that she hadn't come back home for 10 hours after saying that she was going to pick up a package. Deputies pinged her cell phone, and when they found her, she was intoxicated and admitted to leaving her children at home for a long period of time. She was booked at the Bexar County Jail with 2 counts of abandoning or endangering a child and cocaine possession.
Now to Governor Greg Abbott, who announced on his X account that State Department of Public Safety troopers and special agents are being deployed to assist the Department of Homeland Security. This is all part of President Donald Trump's plan to remove people from the U.S. who are here illegally. Abbott posted on X that, quote, DPS troopers and special agents are deployed to assist President Trump's Homeland Security investigations in targeting and removing illegal immigrants. These DPS operations are expected to expand in the coming days, end quote. This is, of course, something that we will track in the days ahead, and you can follow us on air and online on KSAT.com for any updates to this new initiative from Governor Abbott and Texas DPS. Meanwhile, Colombia's government has reached a deal with the White House to let U.S. military planes take people back to the South American country who are in the U.S. illegally. Colombia had initially refused to do that, prompting President Trump and the White House to threaten tariffs and sanctions against the country. Now, a statement from the White House says that those motions are put on hold until the first plane of Colombian deportees are back in the ground in that country.
Rain is still falling in parts of Southern California this morning, boosting the risk of toxic ash runoff in areas scorched by Los Angeles area wildfires. Flood watches are in effect through the afternoon for burn areas from recent fires that broke out around the Pacific Palisades neighborhood in Los Angeles. The Palisades fire, largest of the blazes that destroyed thousands of homes and killed at least 11 people, now 90% contained.
And millions of people around the world are recognizing a very solemn day today. Today marks 80 years since the liberation of the Nazi concentration camp in Auschwitz. Allied soldiers liberated about 7,000 prisoners that day, but more than 1 million people were murdered at that camp at the hands of Nazi soldiers. Most of those victims were Jewish people from all over parts of Europe, but there were people there from Poland, Russia, and citizens of other countries who were also victims there of that camp. And later tonight, the Holocaust Memorial Museum of San Antonio and the San Antonio Public Library will be hosting a special program for the 13th annual The Holocaust Learn and Remember series. Opening remarks start at 7 o'clock tonight and will include a presentation of proclamations from the city of San Antonio and Bexar County for International Holocaust Remembrance Day. These remarks will be immediately followed by the closing program called They Were There, 80th Anniversary of the Liberation of Auschwitz.
All right, it is 5:07 right now. We're looking at 49 degrees outside, and I got a question for you while you're looking at beautiful San Antonio. Can you imagine living on the moon? I can't, but get this, it might not be science fiction for too long. Coming up, we got the new research initiative from UTSA that's helping students think out of the world.
Absolutely. I know Devin's very excited to tell us that story. Now, I don't even know if Cowboys fans are excited about this right here. Big news for the Cowboys over the weekend. Later today, Dallas will officially introduce its next head coach, Brian Schottenheimer, out of nowhere. We're going to tell you what this means for the team coming up next.
Welcome back. It is 5:11. As governments and private companies around the world continue to look towards the stars, the aerospace industry is quickly becoming one of the fastest growing industries in the United States.
That's right. And now a local university becoming part of that while setting students up for success. Yeah, very interesting story here.
Oh, yeah. UTSA created a new research center to find science breakthroughs while preparing students to enter an in-demand job market. It's called C-STORE, Center for Space Technology and Operations Research. Basically, they're going to bring different departments together like aerospace, engineers, physicists, and computer scientists, and more to work on projects under one roof. Dr. David Silva, the new director for the C-STORE, said that this will help not only researchers and students here, but other universities who want to collaborate on solving out of this world problems.
So, whether it's an electrical engineering degree, whether it's physics, whether it's math, whether it's even finance and project management, these are all things which are directly applicable to the space industry, but also have wide applicability into the economy in general here in Texas.
All right, big things happening there at UTSA. Dr. Silva also says that the C-Store will be helpful for students graduating and looking for jobs, even outside of the aerospace industry. So coming up, we're going to talk a little bit more about this program and hear from a student who's taking his childhood dreams to the next level with C-Store, y'all.
All right. Okay, from space to the roadways. We're getting out to our traffic. Of course, we're going to see exactly what's going down and make sure you guys are looking pretty decently. And at this time, yeah, that's a construction zone right there that you see right there in I-10 and the Y. There is some type of crash that popped up. This one is blocking a main lane and a shoulder right at 1604 and Hardy Oak Boulevard. Of course, this came out about 10 minutes ago or so. So yes, if that is a part of your commute this morning and you're up and about, slow down, pay attention while they're trying to work through the situation. But at this time, we're looking with that one crash right there, RJ.
Yeah, so that's going to be on the north side of town out there for our drivers in the Stone Oak area. And we found that camera out there. So at least one main lane blocked right now, 1604 at Hardy Oak. So let's go ahead and go to Alex Gomez on the roads for us on this Monday morning. Alex, how are things looking out there?
RJ, good morning. I just spotted that accident over here on the north side. I'm going to swing around and see if I can get a better angle at it. But it was in the clearing stages. I saw a couple of tow trucks already there on scene. That right lane, however, is going to be blocked 1604 going eastbound. So if you're going eastbound towards I-35 from 1604, that's where it's going to be. I'll give you some more details once I get there, RJ.
Okay, sounds good, Alex. I know that he will definitely be on top of things out there in Drive Cam. Mm-hmm. All right, Mia.
Mia's in for Justin. Yes, dude, it feels great. Like I appreciate this. Okay, I'm pretty sure we're going to be warming up sometime throughout the day.
Yeah. We are.
Yeah.
It's going to be cool though this afternoon, considering the fact that we'll still have the cloud cover. And we're going to keep an isolated rain chance in the forecast as well. And really, we had a cool front move through yesterday. Dew points are down, but despite that, we are still managing to see a few sprinkles out there survive their journey from the clouds down here to the surface. Not a whole lot going on across the hill country, though. You can see that's where dew points are actually a little bit lower. We have some higher moisture content in place here closer to San Antonio and especially east of I-35 across the coastal plains. But still, all things considered, to where we were this time yesterday, dew points are about 20 degrees lower, just meaning we do have some drier air in place and a little bit of a breeze out there this morning, which is a big reason why we're not dealing with that dense fog that we saw in spots yesterday morning as well. We will start to see more humidity gradually pump back in, especially by this time tomorrow and even more so into Wednesday. That's going to lead to some damp mornings out there with some patchy fog and a little bit of drizzle, especially by your Tuesday morning commute. Right now, though, when it comes to any sprinkles trying to fall closer to the San Antonio area, perhaps a few on the south side in between 410 and 1604, a few more near the Medina Lake as well as Lake Hills area out there in far northeastern Medina County. But by far the best activity and the best chance that you have of tapping into a little bit of this if you're stepping out for the morning commute across the coastal plains, Gonzales County, Lavaca County, DeWitt, Karnes, and Wilson County, all of this generally working in from the south and pushing farther up to the north. Very, very light out there, and again, coverage is not very high. If you do happen to run into any of this, just know that it will be pretty brief out there. I think by lunchtime, things are generally looking more isolated, still keeping the cloud cover. Of course, we'll keep a 20% chance in the forecast into the early afternoon. Slightly higher, 30% potential by the evening commute home. We could potentially see a little bit more moisture, lead to some light rain out there on authority radar. And then here comes that humidity. This is 6:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. There's that patchy drizzle along with some fog that is expected to lower visibility in a few areas. Then throughout our Tuesday, keeping another 30% chance in the forecast to find a few more spotty light showers before the day is done. Believe it or not, we still have better rain chances in the forecast by Wednesday and especially into Thursday, all thanks to this low pressure system out west. That's what's bringing some rain and that mudslide threat to parts of the Los Angeles area where they've seen some of those fires. This this low pressure system is going to approach the state of Texas over the next couple of days. It will bring in some additional moisture and upper level energy into our neck of the woods, allowing for that 60% chance for some scattered rain and yes, a few thunderstorms to work in. Again, best chances Wednesday night and into early Thursday. Then we'll start to dry things out from west to east later in the day on Thursday. Total sunshine returning into the upcoming weekend. Notice your temperatures a little bit more spring-like out there with highs back in the 70s. So if you like that cooler feel, the next 48 hours, that's going to be for you. You'll notice no freezing temperatures. So this time last week, we were dealing with the chance for some wintry weather. Nope, just going to be some needed rain this go around.
We'll take it.
Yeah, I stepped outside and I was like, I don't know if I need a jacket. I kind of already had it ready to go. Yeah, didn't really need it, but you know, it still feels pretty good out there. All right, time now is 5:18 and 49 degrees outside.
Y'all, it's time.
Hey.
Get ready for that Super Bowl 59. The Chiefs keep their three-peat hopes alive, but my Eagles, man, they're going to soar with a dominant win. I can feel it. We're going to hear from the players next.
Is the NFC Championship game from Philadelphia as the Eagles play host to the Commanders for the right to go to Super Bowl 59.
All right, incredible stuff there out there in Philly. Fly, Eagles, fly. Philly at home taking on Washington for the NFC title. Commanders up early, but then look at Saquon Barkley moving and shaking, turning this into the Saquon show. A 60-yard touchdown for Barkley. That was on the Eagles' first play, Jeff.
And get this, later the Birds went to Barkley again after the Commanders fumble for a short 4-yard touchdown. More botched plays by the Commanders, though, would seal the blowout. Eagles win 55-23, so my boys weren't playing. They were going to the Super Bowl. That's actually a really beautiful score, too, by the way.
Yes.
Okay, so now to the AFC, though, championship. A clash of the league titans, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs taking on Josh Allen and the Bills in Kansas City. Now, jumping to the second quarter, though, Mahomes finds the former Texas Longhorn Xavier Worthy. Worthy dives for the end zone to make it 14-10, and then early fourth quarter, 1-point game. Mahomes takes it himself, and he's in for a 10-yard touchdown. You can't let that boy go, man.
No,
you know he's going to run away with it.
Definitely not. Now, Josh Allen did get a nice drive here to tie things up here at 29, but the Chiefs get a couple of first downs. They get this field goal, and they seal the deal. They beat the Buffalo Bills 32-29 to make it to the Super Bowl.
It's not fun. But to beat the champs, you gotta beat the champs, and we didn't do it tonight. I got so much pride in our guys showing up each and every day, working as hard as they can. Guys truly adopted what we talked about this year going into it. Yeah, love these guys.
It's just so hard to get to the Super Bowl, and I don't take it for granted. And to be able to do it again at Arrowhead was special. We're not to the ultimate goal yet, and this will be a great challenge for us with Philadelphia. And so I'm excited for the guys preparing and get to New Orleans and put up our best shot.
All right, so yeah, a lot of shots of a sad Josh Allen there. Buffalo just cannot get over the hump against the Chiefs here. So here's your Super Bowl matchup. 59 will feature the Chiefs and Eagles coming down on Sunday, February 9th at the Superdome in New Orleans.
Unfinished business. We got to get it. Okay, so later today, the Dallas Cowboys will formally introduce Brian Schottenheimer. Did I say that right? Okay, Schottenheimer as the 10th head coach in franchise history. Friday after the workday, Cowboys Nation found out that Jerry Jones decided to promote Brian Schottenheimer, the Cowboys offensive coordinator for the last 2 seasons. According to reports, he agreed to a 4-year deal.
Yeah, I don't know. Not happy with that. Cowboys fans there. All right, so the Spurs back home after the trip in Paris. They went 1-1 against the Pacers, and returning action this Wednesday at 7 o'clock at the Frostbank Center against the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard will be back in the building. Then the Bucks are in town Friday at 7. That should be a good one. And then we have the Heat in town. That's going to be Saturday night's game before the Spurs get on the road trip, y'all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's that time of year.
And that Super Bowl is going to be a war, though.
It's going to be a good one.
I cannot wait. And then Kendrick Lamar, I think it's the halftime performance, so it's going to be nice. 5:24 right now. We're looking at 49 degrees outside.
All right, up next, we're going to give you an update on local Tejano legend Flaco Jimenez, who's recovering after a health scare. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. It is 5:26, so here at home, we've got some good news to report after a health scare and brief hospitalization. San Antonio's own Tejano music legend Flaco Jimenez is back home and on the road to recovery. Now, one second, just a second. Okay, yeah, this is according to an update from the Grammy Award winner. Social media musician was hospitalized back on January the 12th, and we're happy to see that he's back and doing better.
Absolutely, yes. Continue to monitor that situation there. Of course, done a lot for the Tejano music genre here in San Antonio. Time now is 5:27, 49 degrees outside.
The Trump administration continues to ramp up deportations. Just ahead, how many people they have been deported so far by immigration officials.
And ahead at 6 o'clock, tax season is officially here. What you need to know about filing this year, plus a free tax assistance program right here in the Alamo City.
Good morning, guys. It is 5:30. Happy Monday, and thanks so much for waking up with us today. Again, we're starting your day off with everything you need to know.
Yes, and starting things off with Mia Montgomery in the building with us for Justin Horn. Yeah, Justin was at his daughter's cheer competition, right?
Yes.
They got second place. They did very well. So congratulations to his daughter's cheer team.
Very cool.
Yes, very fun weekend for them. And a little bit of an interesting weekend weather-wise, especially yesterday. It was very humid to start. We had patchy fog. We had drizzle. Then we saw a weak cool front move through and drier air, and slightly cooler air has been moving in as well. Take a look at how that's impacted your temperatures. Yeah, it's not too bad, especially compared to last week, right? When it was super cold and we had temperatures in the 20s to kickstart the day. We can handle this. Upper 40s here in San Antonio, stretching over to places like New Braunfels, Gonzales. It's 46 right now in Kerrville, 51 in Hondo, a few degrees warmer the farther west that you travel and closer to the Rio Grande, 54 in Del Rio, 54 as well, the wake-up temperature over in Eagle Pass. We have managed to see a few sprinkles out there closer to San Antonio and especially east of the I-35 corridor. Across the coastal plains this morning, we'll call it about a 30% chance generally through mid-morning, then more isolated around lunchtime. Still holding on to the cloud cover though, and notice how that impacts your high temperature. Below average by about 10 degrees for this time of year. We've got a high pointed right around 53. Then later on, late this afternoon and into the early evening, I think we could see a few more isolated light showers just in time for the afternoon commute home. Looking ahead to the next couple of days, the first thing you need to know for tomorrow, it is going to be another damp morning, similar to what we saw yesterday. Some patchy fog, some of which could be dense in spots, along with some drizzle expected to develop yet again, thanks to the return of the moisture and more humidity. We're still cool tomorrow afternoon. Highs likely struggle to climb out of the 50s. Then we quickly warm things up by the middle of the week with increasing rain chances. A few thunderstorms possible as well overnight Wednesday and into Thursday. We'll get you a look at that setup headed our way coming up in just a few.
All right, thank you very much for that, Mia. Taking a look at your traffic authority right now, and things looking pretty good out there. West Side, good morning to all my folks out there. 90 General McMullen. I-10 at the Y, still dealing with some overnight construction there. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. We'll show you a couple other cameras there. East side of town at 410 at I-10. Traffic looking pretty good in both directions there. Let's talk about this right here because we are going to see another bit of lane closures here in the downtown area. This is going to be 35 South. It's going to be reduced to 2 lanes, and that starts today and extends through next month, through February of this year. So that's going to be from Martin to Cesar Chavez Street. So again, if you travel down 35 South, keep that in mind as we are dealing with more construction and more lane closures out there. Jeff.
All right, out on the roadways with our photojournalist Alex Gomez. I know he was going to that crash that we mentioned earlier, and it seems like he has arrived. Good morning, Alex. How you doing?
Good morning, Japhanie. Yeah, that accident that we had on the north side just cleared minutes ago. So shout out to SAPD for being able to clear that quickly. 1604 eastbound by the 281 interchange is completely reopened. And there's no leftover backup as well, Japhanie.
Oh, good news out there, Alex. Thank you so much. And we already know that if there's something else to pop up on our commutes, you will be first on the scene. All right, this morning, one person dead and a child in the hospital after a car crash on South Pressa Street. This is near Loop 410. Crews were called to the scene just before 4 p.m. yesterday. And when they got there, they determined that a possible drunk driver rear-ended a car, stopped at a stoplight, which then hit another stopped car in front of them. A woman unfortunately died and a child was taken to the hospital with some minor injuries. According to police, the driver who caused the crash was being evaluated for potentially driving under the influence of alcohol. He was also taken to the hospital for further treatment.
This morning, Uvalde County deputies say that they've arrested the person they believe may be responsible for a homicide. Last Wednesday, KSAT reported that Uvalde County deputies and Texas Rangers had found a body underneath the Frio Bridge in Canipa. This is Luis Ortiz Jr., and he was arrested in connection to that discovery. Deputies also say that they found a gun and ammunition during their investigation. We're still waiting for officials to ID that body as well. As soon as we get more information on this incident, we will report it on air and online.
Taking another look ahead, our Know My Neighborhood series continues on Thursday in Denver Heights. Now, it's an area locals say is balancing the need of economic development and a unique culture. In the early to mid 20th century, this part of town, known for its business district, and now only a few remaining shops still stand. And one of those is Mark's Outing, which is a burger spot on East Commerce. Owner says that he's seen a lot in the 20 years that he's been there, and that includes growth, bringing new faces into the neighborhood, which is a chance that he's welcoming.
For someone to even come into a restaurant like this and to patronize us, that means a whole lot to me. I mean, we know that things are changing and faces are changing. The people that come through may be different, but they're still, when you move into this community, for me, you're a part of this community. So we embrace it.
Of course, this is just one story that we're sharing in our Know My Neighborhood series this week. We hope you'll join us. Again, this is going down Thursday night, 6 from Denver Heights.
All right, moving on to some national news here. The Trump administration continues to ramp up deportations. Over the weekend, Immigration and Customs Enforcement conducted enhanced operations in Chicago. And across the country, immigration officials say that they arrested nearly 1,000 people across the country yesterday, up from nearly 300 on Saturday and nearly 600 on Friday.
This morning, a driver is in custody after veering into a crowd celebrating the Philadelphia Eagles' win against the Washington Commanders. An aerial video in Philadelphia shows the police surrounding a car they say was involved in the incident. Several people were hit and taken to the hospital. Philadelphia police say that in a social media post that the crash does not appear to be intentional. Today, the IRS will start accepting 2024 tax returns. The filing deadline, April the 15th. We got some good news for some filers. About 1 million people who were eligible for 2021 recovery rebate credit and did not claim it will be getting it in a separate check from the IRS this year.
All right, it's almost tax season, y'all.
It is that time.
My birthday is April 15th, which is always tax day, so I'm always reminded of that.
Hope you get a big present.
Kind of hate it. No, people don't like it. All right, taking a look at live cam right now, 5:37 and 49 degrees out there.
Okay, so we asked this question earlier about living on the moon. Get this, it might not be science fiction for too long because coming up, we got information about that new research initiative from UTSA that's helping students think out of this world.
All right, plus why Sony is pulling the plug on its popular Blu-ray disc after 18 years. We'll be right back.
All right, welcome back. It is 5:40. As governments and private companies around the world continue to look toward the stars, the aerospace industry is quickly becoming one of the fastest growing industries in the United States.
Yeah, especially here in the San Antonio area. So now a local university becoming part of that while setting students up for some success.
So UTSA has created a new research center to find science breakthroughs while preparing students to enter an in-demand job market.
Yeah, UTSA has been doing a lot of work with this. So this is called C-STORE, the Center for Space Technology and Operations Research. Essentially, it's going to bring different departments of science like physics, mechanical engineering, even biology under one roof for students and professors to work together. So talked to one of those students. His name is Dylan, and he thought about being an astronaut as a kid and now is working as a mechanical engineer.
As you know, you look at the job market especially, it's no longer just mechanical engineer. It's mechanical engineer with, like robotics and controls, which is what I want to do. Mechanical engineer with, some electrical background or civil background.
And Dylan is working on a project to simulate living on the moon, building habits that can handle meteorites, moonquakes, space dust, and more. Now, of course, we're still looking at different ways to help out in the industry.
But UTSA researchers are hoping that their work can help other scientists find ways to keep astronauts safe from the stars. Very interesting stuff right there.
Oh, yeah. It is 5:42 right now. We're looking at 49 degrees outside.
All right. Better stock up on your favorite movies. Up next, Sony announcing that it's halting production of a popular physical media after 18 years.
You got to say popular. You got to say it like that. Okay, so coming up, we got a live look at the road conditions, guys. Alex Gomez is rolling. Of course, we got details on what your commute is looking like after this. At 45 right now in your morning consumer headlines, Apple reportedly still looking into developing a new generation of AirPods equipped with tiny cameras. Bloomberg didn't say what the cameras will be used for, but one blogger has speculated that they would serve as infrared sensors to enhance spatial audio experience with Apple Vision Pro. I was going to say, I don't want to look at the side of somebody's head. Like if you're sitting there and they're on, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a tech person, but.
For me, yeah, just more iPods for me to lose at home.
Yeah.
All right, the end of an era here for Sony. The company saying it will stop producing those Blu-ray discs after 18 years. Also out of the way here, mini disc and mini DV cassettes production will stop next month. Last year, Sony said that it was getting rid of these items due to some poor sales.
I mean,
just a sign of the times.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's just like vinyl, but I see vinyl. A lot of people want those again.
Yeah.
Because again, it's back. So maybe like 20 years from now, our kids are going to be one of those.
I think you can make some pretty good money on some of those old like Blu-rays and stuff.
Yeah.
The ones that are haven't been opened, I think. Yeah, so.
Especially when you have like the collection too. I mean, that's like what it is with
Yeah.
VHS tapes also now.
Yep.
It's like if you have the
Old
big
school.
collection. Yeah. Pretty cool.
All right, 49 degrees outside right now.
It's a little chilly, but not nearly as bad as what we saw last week. Of course, it's a big difference from yesterday. It was warm and it was humid, but today's a little bit of a different story. You may want the light jacket if you're stepping out for the morning commute and, of course, the drive to school. Something else that we are also monitoring this morning, and it's not for everybody, and this activity is very light and it is very brief, but we have a few sprinkles falling across portions of south central Texas. Some of the more notable activity right now on your authority radar, far western Bexar County, just outside of Loop 1604, near the Alamo Ranch area, near SeaWorld. This is just crossed over Highway 90, generally working in from the south, pushing farther up to the north. Some of that activity near the Somerset area as well. And then, of course, the coastal plains, Cuero, Yorktown, Hallettsville, seeing some of that activity move in too. So we'll be keeping tabs on this throughout the remainder of the morning. But the good news is, because of the winds that have been a little breezy and gusty at times through the overnight and even this morning as well, along with slightly drier air that moved in the wake of yesterday's cool front, we're not really dealing with a lot of patchy fog out there. Visibility values a lot better than what they looked like this time yesterday. Tell you where visibility is lower though. Check out our neighbors off to the east. Widespread rain pushing across portions of the deep south, all thanks to, yes, that boundary that continues to ever so slightly work its way farther off to the east this morning, and of course has passed through the San Antonio area. That's going to continue to work away from the state of Texas in the days ahead, but we're not finished with the rain chances. In fact, another low pressure system in the upper levels of the atmosphere is going to approach Texas here over the next couple of days, and I think especially by Wednesday night and into Thursday, that's going to be our best time frame to find some scattered rain and a few thunderstorms that look to return to the forecast. Still though, starting tomorrow and into Wednesday, some damp mornings expected, some patchy morning fog and drizzle yet again, thanks to the humidity that's quickly going to work back in by this time tomorrow, but we'll bump those rain chances up to about a 60% potential again overnight Wednesday and throughout the first half of the day on Thursday. I do want to bring this up. This is the latest severe outlook issued from the Storm Prediction Center for Wednesday night. Still have a few days to go before we get here. It's possible though, especially up into the hill country, Kerrville, Lakey, Rock Springs, where a 2 out of 5 severe risk has been issued during that time, that we see a few storms embedded within some of this activity, potentially sit on the strong to maybe even briefly severe side. If that is the case, we would need to monitor for some hail, perhaps some gusty winds, lightning, and pockets of heavy rainfall. Still the exception rather than the rule right now. We'll, of course, continue to keep you posted on that as we get closer. But when it comes to rain, generally, I like 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches across parts of our area. Higher totals the farther north that you go, lower totals the farther south and west, closer to the Rio Grande. So more updates to come over the next 48 to 72 hours. In the meantime, though, 49 degrees here in San Antonio. Again, a few sprinkles falling here and there. Plenty of cloud cover today. A temperature right around 50 expected around noon. It will be cooler than average this afternoon. We've got a high pointed right around 53. Again, damp mornings start again tomorrow morning with patchy fog and drizzle developing. Still cool into Tuesday afternoon. We struggle to climb out of the 50s. We're back closer to 70 degrees into Wednesday. Those 70s continue into the upcoming weekend with more sunshine returning to the forecast.
All right, thank you very much, Mia. Taking a look at your traffic authority, and we do have a crash being reported right now on 410 and 90. We'll continue to monitor that. But Alex Gomez on the roads for us, scanning the streets. What is up, Alex? How are things looking?
Well, good morning, RJ. I am coming down from the northwest side right now. This is going to be I-10 eastbound right near Wurzbach Road. So far, I can tell you that I haven't seen any more of those sprinkles, at least on this side of town, in the past hour. So I think driving conditions are going to be okay. I'm going to make my way to 410 and 90, and maybe I can give you some more details on that crash. RJ.
All right, thank you very much for that, Alex, and we'll get a little bit more information on that coming up in just a bit.
5:51 right now. We're looking at 49 degrees outside.
Well, there's a new number one movie, Mark Wahlberg, Careless.
Yay!
At the weekend box office, find out the estimates for the top 5 films in theaters coming up next.
Don't laugh too hard, RJ. It might be you.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check the game is actually over before you storm the court.
Okay.
Yeah, checking first is smart.
It's overtime.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
The first time you try Bounce, it hits you. Your laundry feels way fresher, softer. So you start to wonder, if I put a sheet of Bounce on the finance guy, will it make him softer? Bounce can't do it all. But for better laundry, put a sheet on it with Bounce.
Pandora.
Moana 2 stayed in 5th place. $4.3 million put the animated sequel past the $450 million mark domestic. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 made $5.5 million for 4th place and $226 million domestic. One of Them Days fell to 3rd, adding $8 million to its total.
Back to the trees. We're trapped. We have to swim. No.
Mufasa the Lion King is at $221 million domestic after a 2nd place weekend worth $8.7 million.
Moretti is very disappointed in you, Winston, and he wants you dead.
Flight Risk launched in theaters with $12 million, enough to give the airborne action flick the top spot in its debut weekend. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, so Jaff talking about the music on Mufasa.
Hey, my brother.
Well, every 2 seconds, someone in the U.S. needs blood. So for National Blood Donor Month, we're hoping that you roll up your sleeves and join us for our KSAT Community Partners efforts by registering to donate blood, save lives, and support our community.
Today and tomorrow, the University Blood Bus will be at Green Line Park at Brooks. And we have everything that you need to know about that, KSATcommunity.com.
All right, coming up at 6 o'clock, a lot more news to get to, including this one here, a restaurant on the far west side closing their doors for good. We're going to look at the reason behind this and what the owner told KSAT.
And up next, if you got chickens at home, this might be your year to cash in. Why record prices could be sticking around for a while.
And a quick look at TransGuide. Do have a crash out there at 90 East and Loop 410 on one of the overpasses right there. So we're going to talk about this, get a check with Alex Gomez. Your traffic. Mia's in the building for weather. We'll be right back.